These are 5 telltale signs your real estate business is failing. Number 1, you're not getting enough business and you don't know why. You have no clue why you're failing. And here's what the problem is. The people that say this to me aren't doing enough action, because when you are working your face off and every single day you're calling expireds, you're doing open houses, and you are just generating conversations, 5, 10, 50 conversations every day, you know the problem. You know that when an open house lead comes in, you're not setting the appointment. Or when you go on an appointment with an expired, you're not getting them to sign. And so the problem when an agent says, I don't know why I'm failing, the answer is they're just not doing enough work to even get to a failing point. Number 2, your current clients, they're not referring you. You don't get repeat business. And when somebody doesn't refer you, that means you didn't do a good enough job, because referrals, they don't come from the people that think you did average. They only come from the people that you did such an A+++ job with. They go out of their way. They call these people raving fans. And when you do such an amazing and give them this experience like they've never had before, they will send you every person they have ever met in their entire life. But if you do average or below average, you're not gonna get a single referral. This was a mistake I had for years in my business because I only focused on generating business and not fulfilling it. Number 3, you say things like I'm better in person, or I'm not good at the phone. Or you say things like, I just only can work with buyers who are motivated. What that tells me is you aren't good at taking a buyer from interest to excitement. Most buyers, if you get 100 leads, 3 of them are gonna be extremely interested. They're gonna buy no matter what, no matter with who. It's like when you've gotten a buyer and they've made the decision to purchase, they're gonna do it without you, with you, or with another agent. The hard thing is, out of those 100, 8 of them are gonna be a little interested, your B leads. And these are people that if you do a good job, you will get them off the fence and they'll buy. But if you don't, they'll just end up renting or moving somewhere else where it's easier. And so your job is to figure out 1, how to get as many of these people as possible. And then 2, how do you give such good service and get people so excited about the idea of buying that they actually want to transact. This, typically, if you're working with buyers, means you have a really good buyer consultation. And what that means is when you sit down with the buyer, you don't just say, hey, here's how the process works, here's what it looks like, interest rates, blah, blah, blah. You actually start to tell them stories about clients that were really successful. Hey, I had this client, when they sold, they walked away with $75,000 cash, tax-free. That could be you. Here's all the ways you actually build equity. Here's all the reasons and benefits of buying. A lot of buyers, the ones on the fence, they don't know about all these benefits. And so to them, when you just sit down and say, what do you want to buy? They're like, I don't know, I've never done this, I'm kind of confused. And then you scare them off. Versus sitting down, telling them what to expect and all the reasons you should buy. It's kind of like if you go to any dealership, any place where they're gonna sell you something, what do? They tell you all of the A+ and amazing reasons you should buy their product. It does this feature and it has this tool and it does this thing and this is how it's gonna make your life better. But when you don't tell them any of that stuff, they don't know it. By the way, if you like this content, I need you to do me a favor and subscribe. I spent hundreds of hours working on this and our team and money goes into it, and I do it all for free for you. And if you want me to keep making more, better content, I want to see that you're engaged. So do me a favor, subscribe, leave a comment. It costs you nothing and it means everything to me. Reason number 4 you're failing is because you're trying to boil oceans and not cups. And what this means is that you're focusing on too many things at once. For example, I know people that they day trade stocks, they sell real estate, they want to do investments, they want to do property management, they want to drive Uber, they want to start a flipping construction business with roofs, I don't know. They do all these things, but they don't understand that all the money is made at the top of the scale. And so instead of being great at one thing, they're average at everything. And guess what being average pays? Nothing. And so I tell agents, if you want to be good at this, choose one lead source and become the best in your market. And what I did was I got great at expireds. I became the best person at expireds in all of Hawaii. And what did that do? I started doing 10, 20, 30, 50 sales a year from this one lead source. You don't need 10 lead sources. You need one good one that you're really good at and cut out everything else. And lastly, the number 5 reason you're not cut out for this is because you look for reasons it can't be done instead of reasons it can. And I meet so many agents where I sit down with them and I say, hey, here's the problem. You're not as good as you think you are at converting leads. And they say, no, it's anything but me. It's the leads that suck. It's the scripts that suck. It's the time of day when I call them. The problem is none of those. The problem is that the agent can't admit that they're not that good and they're not willing to put in the work and the time to get really damn good at this. And that takes a lot of work because there's 10,000 agents in my market that are doing this every day. You can't expect to be the best on island, best in the world if you're only doing it for 10 hours a week. If this applies to you or someone you know, or maybe it's the person sitting in your chair, I want you to know you can change, but the only thing that's gonna change is you have to put in the work, you have to put in the time, otherwise nothing's gonna happen. If you like this video and you want more videos just like this one or better, leave a comment below of what to talk about. If you really like it, leave me a subscribe like, and if you wanna see more of this, go to our Facebook Accelerator page. It's free. Aloha.